And today, the unions are using the jobs report to call for swift change. Welcome back to Leo Gerard, president of the United Steelworkers International.
Hi,
Hey there.
I am. Good to be on with you.
Hey, good to have you on, sir. Look, a lot's changed since the last time we spoke. We have a president who basically actually had a vice president over the last couple of days who went down to Miami and said, hey, I have your back. I'll keep an eye on the unions with the AFL-CIO. I guess that would be good news for your group. Is that what you guys are looking at?
Well, look, I think Vice President Biden has always been a good supporter of middle-class working Americans. He's been a good supporter of trade unions. And he did come, and what he said that I thought was very accurate and impressive is he said in order to rebuild the middle class, workers need to have a chance to share in the productivity that they've created. And the best way to share in that productivity is through the time-honored process of collective bargaining. So I think that was a good day for Vice President Biden and an honest day for the economy.
Leo, you know, you underscore there that it's sort of a Democrat versus Republican thing, and I always push back against that. Are we sure that this is want to frame this as a partisan thing?
No. Look, it's not partisan at all. We've got a lot of supporters in the Republican Party, and a lot of Republicans, some right here in Pittsburgh.
Do you have any enemies in the Democratic Party? That's where I was going with it. Or do we? I'd like to find both sides fighting both sides.
Well, look, at this point, we know that there are some Democrats in the House that have not spoken in favor of the right to organize, but we've also been able to offset that with a number of Republicans that understand. And what we're talking about here is pretty simple. It's giving workers the right to participate in collective bargaining so they can share in some of the wealth they created. In the last 8 years, productivity went up by 20% in real terms, and real wages for families went down by $2,000. I would argue that helped create the mess we're in.
Leo, but you know what? We talked to a lot of very prominent, very respected CEOs on Fox Business. They all tell us that the problem with the unions is that it takes away their competitive edge. They worry that they cannot stay in business if union rules change. I mean, you can have a union job or you can have no job, Leo.
Oh, look, that's malarkey. Look, let me remind you, these are the same guys that told us last year that everything was going to be healthy. These are the same guys that a few years ago. No, the guys that she's talking about, these CEOs that are fighting unions. I mean, these are the guys that offshored our jobs, that helped create a trade deficit of $6 trillion. These are the guys that said deregulate the financial community. Everything's going to be okay. The fact of the matter.
That's a blanket statement, Leo. But,
but you're also making a blanket statement. So it's blanket statement for blanket statement.
They're trying.
The Steelworkers Union has good relationships with all of our major employers in the major sectors of the economy. And in fact, we've helped keep the steel industry afloat while we've been flooded with cheap foreign steel that's been subsidized, that's had currency manipulation, that has flooded our market. We've helped save the steel industry, so I'm not going to accept that we're the problem. In fact, we're the solution.
All right, Leo, let's get to the issue at hand, sir. Do you vote? When you vote, right?
I do, yeah.
Okay, when you go to the voting booth, when you go to the voting booth, I assume you either pull the curtain closed or the wall closed. You do it in private, yes or no?
Look, let's not go down the path of whether or not.
No, I want to go down that path. Let's go down that path.
But I'm not going to get tricked into that. Come on, what do you think? I was born yesterday?
To trick you.
The fact of the matter is, this isn't about taking away anyone's vote. Let me go real calm and calm myself down. The reality is that when the Wagner Act was passed, it was passed in order to promote collective bargaining. And over the years, the choice of whether or not workers would get a union through a secret ballot vote or a card check has shifted to the boss. Now all we're saying is that workers ought to choose whether they want to be recognized through a secret ballot by the Labor Board or whether they want to be certified, as they say, by a card check. We're not changing any of the rules. This is the only country out of 70 democracies in the industrialized world that gives that choice to the boss, and we're saying that choice ought to be to the workers. That's all.
Leo, real quick though, about the AFL-CIO. I mean, this is the same week that they were down having a real nice conference down in Florida, Miami, I believe. I mean, people go against corporate America and CEOs, but union leaders are just as bad when it comes to spending union dues.
Let me set you straight. That the contract to have the council meeting in Miami at the Fontainebleau was worked out as the part of a help that the building trades brought in to help finish that building, and our room rate was $199. That's cheaper than I can get in Washington. I'll tell you what, it's a hell of a lot cheaper than I can get in New York City.
All right. Leo, you're a great sport. We love having you on Happy Hour. We invite you back as soon as possible.
He won that battle.
President of the United Steelworkers International.
You guys always push my button. It's fun to be on.
That's what we're here for.
I like you fired up, Leo.
For the record, you won today. That was good.
Thank
On
you.
tap.